So I have read your book in 3 months' time, which was surprising for me. Usually I read it in 1-2 weeks, but I was like, no, I need to do the teachings. I'm just going to sit down and do it, or lay down or whatever. So, and honestly, I started with this tape, and I was at the beginning very scared. I just want to show the listener and the watcher here, literally before I went to go to bed, I did this, and I took actually the very tiniest bit, because I thought, in case I will just choke or something, then this will just get out. So I used that. I slept the first night, I think maybe, I don't know, maybe 1-2 hours. I can't remember. Then I took it off. I was kind of panicked. But then the second day it went better. Third day or fourth day, I found myself wearing the tape also in the morning. And that's what I did. And what I did, like during, I'm a runner. During my run, I'm very deliberately practicing breathing through my nose. And, usually this first 20-25 minutes, I need to pay very good attention to it, because I'm not used to it. I'm not always like, and then I, not, but just actually normal, closed. And I did that. And also the third thing, what I did is, like, when I climb the stairs or I run somewhere, whatever, like just I'm in a rush, then I find myself quickly breathing through my mouth. And what I did, I just closed my mouth for a moment and then held my breath. And then kept breathing through my nose. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Before I did this, I woke up very tired. I was every morning, even I don't want to wake up. I woke up anyway, but I was tired, really. Tonight I'm going to go to bed early. I woke up a lot during night. So my sleep cycle was like waking up, sleeping, waking up, sleeping. And especially during a workout of boxing and running, I just became very quickly fatigued. I was like tired. And what happened after using this, I think in 2-3 weeks, I didn't even measure, but I measure my bolts, which I will come there very soon. So what happened with me? I sleep much deeper. It's literally like I put it on, I sleep, I wake up. And when I wake up, like, I am not tired. I'm just ready for the day. Let's go. And during the training, as I said, I have a much better stamina. I just feel like, okay, I will continue. Even my boxing teacher, he said, breathe through your mouth. And I said, no, Patrick is going to come on the show. I will make you listen. So this helped me really a lot. And I would like to actually talk more about, the bolt. What is that exactly? How can people that listen to this, like, hey, I actually also would like to practice, and where should I start? How should I begin? And how do I even know if I breathe right?
So the bolt score is a measurement of the length of time that a person can hold their breath for comfortably. They need to be sitting down for about 5 minutes or so. And they take a normal breath in through their nose and out through their nose and pinch their nose and hold. They time it in seconds until they feel the first definite desire to breathe, or the first involuntary movement of the breathing muscles. When they let go, their breath should be fairly normal. So it's not the length of a maximum breath hold. You're only timing it. How long can you hold your breath until the brain tells you to resume breathing?
It's not about being like checking how long can I keep my breath in. No, it's about really when does the first involuntary breath come?
Or the involuntary contraction of the diaphragm. It's when it wants to come. And we always exhale first and then we hold the breath. So we don't breathe in and hold the breath. We have a normal breath in, normal breath out, and then hold the breath. So in terms of the adult population, if the bolt score is less than 25 seconds, it's an indicator that breathing is dysfunctional. And if the bolt score is above 25 seconds, it's an indicator that breathing is functional. And the relevance of this is when breathing is dysfunctional, okay, 22 seconds, 23 seconds, you're nearly there. But say an individual with a bolt score of 10 seconds, that person will be breathing faster, harder, irregular. They will have disproportionate breathlessness during physical exercise. They're going to gas out too soon. They're wasting energy unnecessarily. They're going to have physical fatigue. They're likely to have mental fatigue. Their sleep is impacted. They can be prone to cramps. A lot can be going on. So this is why it's very important to train breathing and train the brain. And you can do both together. I work with fighters. You talked about boxers. One boxer that has done our program is Michael Conlon. And last Saturday week, he had quite a big fight He's featherweight and he won his fight in the first round. He's now fighting for a world champion in March. So it's very easy to bring breathing protocols into any fighter's regime. When you're on the pads, doing it breathing in and out through the nose. You're on the bag, in and out through the nose. You're doing warm-up with breath holds. In between rounds, so for example, you do your 3-minute round, how do you get your recovery to bring down your heart rate as quick as possible? By changing your breathing. How do you train the brain that the boxer is concentrated all the way through the fight? Because you will have youngsters now that are stuck looking into their mobile phones and a constant wave of distraction. And they're practicing distraction all day long, and yet they are supposed to have focus on the fight. It's not going to happen. So it's just as important to train the brain as it is to train breathing. And I know these functions have often been overlooked, but if you think of a fighter, the 9th and 10th round, physical fatigue is setting in. His mind is starting to wander. It's game over. And also it's very important to gauge your opponent's breathing, because if you pay attention to your opponent's breathing, you will know when they are gassing out. You will know when they are getting fatigued. And that's when you can start laying in. You know, there's things about breathing, and we can train breathing. Really what we want to do is, with nose breathing, as you were talking about, Özlem, it's not about training with breathing in and out through the nose to the point that we go blue. It's about adding that extra adaptation. So during light and moderate intensity, whereby you can sustain fairly comfortable nasal breathing, yes, you feel air hunger, but you continue breathing in and out through the nose. And over weeks, your body adapts to this. You're able to tolerate higher carbon dioxide. You're able to push yourself harder and faster with reduced breathlessness. Now, during a fight, of course, when the going gets tough, you have to switch to mouth breathing. So there's a time to nose breathe and there's a time to mouth breathe. But nose breathing is a tremendous way to help train the body, but also train the mind, because when you breathe in and out through your nose, visual spatial awareness is better. There's a connection by the nose to the brain via the olfactory nerve that doesn't take place through the mouth. Memory is better. Concentration is better. Attention span is better by nasal breathing. That doesn't happen with mouth breathing. Visual spatial awareness would be relevant to somebody on a football field. And it's probably one of those evolutionary traits that as our ancestors were in an open environment, they may have had their sights on something close by, but at the same time, they had to have the ability to read and scan the environment around them. So just like a football player, you know, they're watching where the ball is, but at the same time, they're watching everything that's going on in the pitch. That's visual spatial awareness. That's improved with nose breathing versus mouth breathing.
Because it is increasing also the attention span, focus, memory. It really helps brain function better.
Yes, it does. And probably from a number of different perspectives. You know, with nose breathing, you typically have slower breathing. With slower breathing, the mind is calmer.
Exactly.
But if we go into faster breathing, the mind is more agitated. More agitation of the mind, increased thought activity, increased distraction. How do we access flow states? How do we get into that state of flow whereby our attention is moving simultaneously with time? For that, we need to have balanced physiology, but we also need to have deep sleep. So we're using breathing to help to bring the physiology into balance, but also to improve the sleep quality that you spoke about earlier on. How many athletes and how many individuals wake up with a dry mouth in the morning? We should never wake up with a dry mouth in the morning. So we're using breathing to help to bring the physiology into balance, but also to improve the sleep quality that you spoke about earlier on. How many athletes and how many individuals wake up with a dry mouth in the morning? We should never wake up with a dry mouth in the morning.